Is Manchester United taking a massive gamble now in the summer transfer window with reports coming out to say that Man United are no longer going in for Gyokeres or Osimhen, more likely to sign Liam Delap, pretty much what reports are saying, done and dusted for 40 million from a relegation. Ipswich, is this what we're trying to see? Is this something that Manchester United no longer shopping at Harold's, that we are going to shop at Tesco for the unproven talent? What does that mean, guys? What does it mean for the club and for the future? Well, I'm here to say, and I've thought about it long and hard. You know what? At the end of the day, football goes in cycles. And if you look at Arsenal, they need to get a cherry on the top. And, they're at the end of the rebuild. 2 years in a row, they finished second. Arteta is under pressure. They need to sign a goal scorer. And of course, I'm not in the studio. I'm just came back to my home settings, which is Phuket in Thailand, which I want to talk to you about what is going on with the club. Plain and simple, I see it that, you know what? Man United are doing the hoovering up all the talent for two reasons. We've got Christopher Vivell. He's the mastermind of finding and scouting young up and coming talent. And then you have, of course, Omar Brada from the city. The city used to do that a lot. The city used to sort of sell academy players for 30, 40 million. Just look at Cole Palmer. And well, the players that never kicked the Premier League first team football whatsoever. And that is kind of the way we see that Ratcliffe is speaking about how we're going to be sustainable and profitable, right? Not everyone in the academy or the under 21s and under 18s are going to make it, but they are definitely a sellable asset. Christopher Vivell has been reported scouting out three players in PSV Academy, and that's kind of smart. There are, 18, 19-year-olds, and we see that Enrique is living right here, right now, doesn't really want to utilize academy players. So these players are out of contract, and this is a no-brainer for United. So for me, what I'm trying to say here is that football goes in cycles, and perhaps we fans don't see the light. We're blinded by the light. That's why I'm wearing my shades. Perhaps we are deliberately not going to challenge next year or 2 years, and perhaps we are not going to buy the 27-year-old striker what everyone is expecting. Instead we are getting the lap 22-year-old, coupled with definitely Rasmus Højlund 22, Xerxes 23, and then you have the likes of Bobby Martin as well up in coming. So there's four strikers, and this reminds me what potentially the strategy is that Man United are looking to build a squad for the future. It makes sense that you look at the longevity that you want to be a dominating force for the next 10 years in the Premier League. And that kind of, when you start thinking like that, makes sense. But then from a fan base perspective, if you look at the Twitter fans and fans in general, we haven't won a Premier League title since 2020, 2013. And of course, we don't have any patience to wait. But again, we haven't had a proper sporting operations. We haven't had a director of football, or we haven't had a head of recruitment doing the business. So this is uncharted waters. Nobody really knows who we are linked to. But this Delap story certainly seems to have legs, and also Cunha. Now, smart business in a way, because reports saying that, Delap is the next thing to Gyokeres in terms of his stamina, his ability with the ball. He could be developed to the next Gyokeres. And then we've seen that the early in his strategy is to not to sign the Mbappes, but to create the Mbappes. So I think they're living up to the expectations, in my opinion. Let's walk to the beach, guys, and let's talk further on what's going on with the club. Do you have any form of objection, being a Man United fan, saying, well, the club is not serious enough to, do this because we want to challenge for trophies? But eventually, if you look at the football goes in cycles, again, Liverpool is kind of at the end of this cycle. They have aging players. They need to rejuvenate the squad. They've been building the squad for 8 years. The same with City. Same with Arsenal. So they are pretty much at the peak of the powers end of the regime. So what we're seeing here right now is Nottingham Forest coming up knocking, being a dominating force. Potentially Man United will be there, and Chelsea as well. Chelsea started off fresh by like acquiring a bunch of talent. And who was with Chelsea? Of course, Christopher Vivell. Now, it's clear and obvious that we're not going to sign and splash the cash on players that are over 50, 60 million because they see that there's no resale value on it. Man United are looking pretty much to be profitable, you know, by buying up young talents. They don't make it to the first team. You sell them up for a pure profit, and that is the way Man United seems to be going. Now, I don't have any problems if Man United go and sign Delap. He's a great up and coming striker. He's got that Gyokeres esque sort of about him. Scored 11 goals so far in the Premier League in the first maiden season with the Ipswich. So I don't have any problems with that. And again, obviously, he's got a release clause of 40 million. And they're now relegated. So Man United is all over it. And there's no competition because there's heavily reports saying that Arsenal, if they don't get a Alexander Isak for 110 million, it's going to be a difficult deal to do. They seem to have their players lined up already. And then you look at Chelsea. It seems to be challenging for everything that we go for. They look like they're going to go for Victor Osimhen because Osimhen was the prime target in January and they didn't get him. So it seems to me that Chelsea is kind of going for Osimhen and Arsenal to go to this. But does it leave us, Man United fans? As I say, we're no longer shopping at Harrods, we're shopping at Tesco's by the looks of it. But this could also be Man United's strategy instead of diversion. It's a smokescreen. So yeah, you go for these plays, you pay the hefty fee, and by the way, this gives us a open path to get what we want, which is Cunha. Nobody's going to go for Cunha. Cunha's given the green light to join Manchester United. He wants to join, even if we are not in the Champions League next season, the Europa League. The same with Delap. He has no Europa League or experience to play Europa League or Champions League, so he's pretty much young. He's willing to sort of wait it out. So if we get those two kind of players in the attacking field, not in an attacking force, then Man United are good. Defensively we're good. Midfield potentially, I see that Cyclical will be fast track, and I see a lot of academy players will come in, in the preseason and impress the manager, and United will not sign more than 3 players in the summer window. Who would that be? Well, obviously, you see that Delap is the target. Cunha will be there as well. And that's, to me, a good signing if you get those two in. But as per usual, I want to hear from you. What is your thoughts and feelings? Does it make sense when I'm trying to say that, we know we don't have money, but the way we are going to generate the money is through the sales. Rashford is going for 40, 50, 60 million. That is pure profit FFP. That's how we can fund it. When you look at the FFP, he's a homegrown talent, that means that it's almost counting as, because we have no transfer fee on it. We never bought him, he came from academy, so it's a pure profit. Even if you sell him for 50, it might sort of count as double or triple the value on the PSR books. You know what I mean? Anthony, the shop kid, he's done well to sort of display himself in the shop window. The Albertis are mad about him. They want him. The latest report saying that they willing to pay 70 million euros for him, and that is a pure profit for United as well, because United has kind of paid 3/4 of his value already. So that is going to balance the books pretty well as well. And plus, you get Casemiro off the books as well. You get a sell-on fee for Mason Greenwood, which is 25%. Also, Sancho, Chelsea, 25 million, off we go. You know what I mean? So this is how Man United are kind of planning to do it. You know what I mean? They do have money to buy a striker early. And by the way, the breaking news is that they're going to Malaysia and Hong Kong end of May. And I'll be there, by the way. I'll be there to cover the pre-match, especially Malaysia, since I live here in Thailand. So yeah, I'm going to do lots of videos from that as well. But that is the breaking news. And of course, then afterwards, they go to Stockholm and then to US as well. So guys, it's going to be interesting. I think that Man United will do an early signing in terms of Leandu, and then potentially Cunha, and then they will sell to buy potentially after the 30th of June, since it's a new PSR financial year. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Would you like to see Man United sign Cunha and Delap? Would you be happy with it? Or would you be disappointed if you see that our rivals are hoovering up our main targets, which is Gyokeres and Osimhen? As per before, I think that Man United are looking to dominate the league within the for a long term perspective. Like, they're looking to sort of bring in the young squad that can challenge for the league, be a dominating force for 5 to 10 years at least. So I take that. If we get some guarantees that we're going to win multiple trophies doing this and Premier League titles, yeah, I can swallow it. But it looks like Ineos and Ruben Amaran are on the same page. Um, they're all talking the same language, and of course, there was reports that Ruben Amaran from Portugal wanted even Delap to Sporting Lisbon before. So yeah, this is probably what's something that he feels he can develop and make it into the next Gyokeres, and I believe so. Anyway, this has been Mick Ruby from MUFC RealistTV, having my thoughts regarding the transfer window and more from a realistic perspective. Guys, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'm back, so hopefully I will do a live stream. But it's been 3 weeks traveling and work. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we shall see you to the next one. See you. Peace.